What's something the internet killed that you miss? Being off the grid. Internet and cell phones ruined it. Nothing stresses me out more than a string of texts in the morning. I feel like I have to check it in case it's work related. Email used to be fun. Now it's just a series of people needing something from me or trying to sell me something. Maybe I'm just an old cranky man. If being stressed by morning texts and email means being old cranky man, then I'm definitely an old cranky man at 26. I'm 32 and I feel the exact same way. I absolutely miss not being able to be reached 24/7. If your phone rings or you get a text, you are expected to answer and will surely get some sort of lecture coming your way if you don't. It was the main reason why I deleted all social media accounts, changed my number, and only gave my number to a select few. I don't like feeling I owe anyone an explanation for anything I do. Only one person gets that honor and I'm married to him. Everyone else can fuck off. BBS systems. When I was a kid there were local bulletin board systems. We chatted, we left messages, arranged doom death matches and played door games. Then you'd see those people in real life, at school and user meetups. It was all local. That's how I met my husband. We met through his BB when we were 16. Been married now 18 years, together for 23 years. I met this girl in school by leaving tiny messages written on the corner of the classroom table where the cleaner would often miss them. She was morning class, I was afternoon. We went from that to leaving actual letters tapped under the table. It was exciting. When we met physically the excitement stopped suddenly though. Just going over to your friend's house or the park unannounced to see if they were there and hang out. I miss this. When you had to physically go hunt your friend down and link all the clues you had together. Like, well, her mom said she left for the corner store like 10 minutes ago, but her bike is parked at the river so she probably took X path to get there and blah 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 until you found them lol. Now if you tried to do this, you just find out they were busy with something else, or they get weirded out like trying to stalk them. Just going over to your friend's house or the park unannounced to see if they were there and hang out. I miss this. When you had to physically go hunt your friend down and link all the clues you had together. Like, well, her mom said she left for the corner store like 10 minutes ago, but her bike is parked at the river so she probably took X path to get there and blah 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 until you found them lol. Now if you tried to do this, you just find out they were busy with something else, or they get weirded out like trying to stalk them. AOL chatrooms. Around 2006-ish, the internet moved from being a way to talk to new people to a way to keep talking to people you already know. That's super useful and all, but there was a lot to be said for building friendships with total strangers who you only knew by a username, but would still chat to every night. It was part of the internet of discovery rather than the internet of familiarity. I miss it, at times. It was nice to have it be so easy to build those connections. I like your phrase, the internet of discovery versus the internet of familiarity. It's a really good description. This explains why my parents' generation used to tell me, don't believe everything the internet said, versus their tendency now to do exactly the opposite. Internet was full of strange, alien people back then. Today it's of relatives and friends and colleagues. I was a teenager in the midst of all the AIMing and chat rooms. I do miss chatting with my friends, but I can't tell you how many times someone tried to lure me into weird relationships, knowing I was underage. That, I do not miss. User-generated web content with no thought to advertising, search engine optimization, monetizing. SEO is an industry I would love to see die in a fire. It has the worst incentives. It encourages people to make garbage content stuffed with keywords and other tricks. I've seen people here on Reddit complain about how recipe sites have lots of bullshit fluff content. That is entirely due to SEO. It also encourages an entire scam industry of people who claim to know all the new tricks whenever Google decides to change their opaque processes, algorithms. I've seen small business owners fork over thousands of dollars for SEO. Yeah, screw SEO. This weekend my wife and I went apartment hunting in a super rural area that had no listings posted online. We popped into a real estate office and talked to someone there about apartment rentals. They just sold houses, but they gave us a few names and numbers of friends they had that did rentals. One was the owner of a lumber supply shop, so we followed the real estate guy's directions up the street, turn at the bank, go through a light and turn to the right to the lumber yard. The owner was busy, so we spoke with the guy there behind the counter. He said the owner didn't have anything available at the moment but gave us more friends' numbers to call. It was like doing detective work in the 80s. We found a nice place and made arrangements for the lease all in one day. Kinda made me appreciate the days before instant gratification of online house hunting. My dad says he misses having arguments with friends which could only be resolved by phoning whoever was most knowledgeable on the subject. For example, did you know lightning travels upwards? No, it goes down. Let's phone your dad. He's a meteorologist. I miss that, the sense of wonderment and imagining how something could work. Now, I can instantly end it with a search. I also miss the simplicity of doing something. For so many things, I find myself researching the multitude of ways to tackle something and feeling overwhelmed. Before, it would be one way, from a book. Yard sales, garage sales and flea markets. People still have them, but it's way harder to find stuff at a good price. eBay and Amazon have ruined that, because everybody just looks up what things are selling for. And sometimes eBay's ridiculously inflated. I found a rare Nerf gun that we had been looking for at a flea market once, and the lady was charging $150, because that was the going rate on eBay. People are always selling action figures in crappy condition for $20, because they don't realize that that price is mint in box, and all of the arms and legs are required. Like, I just wanna grab a TMNT toy for my kids. I'm not paying $20 for your broken toy. It used to be about persistence and digging up a good deal somewhere. Now, I may as well just buy it off of eBay. The cost is the same and my house smells better than most of the people at the flea markets. People throwing garage sales don't seem to understand that garage sales are meant for getting rid of unwanted stuff. Getting money for it is just a bonus. You need to price that stuff at the point where you get a little something, but it still flies off the table, or you've got to be open to haggling. If you want top dollar, go on Craigslist, price it fairly, and drop the price gradually until it's gone. Video game secrets. It was really cool hearing kids talk about if you beat every person in a row without losing, you fight a secret boss in Street Fighter 2. And the only way you'd actually know for sure is if it happened in front of you. And being the first to spread news of secrets and Easter eggs among your group of friends. Now you can look up whatever you want to know, and where to find any object in almost every game there is. I miss playground rumors. And when games had genuine mystery. Having a mental catalog of great jokes that most people hadn't heard. It was so much fun to drop a few at parties and get some laughs. I remember how people like that were always the best to have around. They were like joke wizards. I remember a while back, a family friend made a quick joke as a response at a party. We were around high school age, I think. His dad asked him if he was developing a rack. We didn't know what that meant, so both of our dads explained that it was like the rack at a dry cleaner, except for jokes. You gather a bunch of jokes over time that can be pulled out quick when the situation calls for it. Yeah, I was thinking boobs. If you were exceedingly dumb or had terrible ideas, your reach was really only your direct circle of friends. Now idiots can broadcast their ideas across the planet with a click. The village idiots have gone global. And now they can congregate. Event planning, announcements didn't rely on Facebook. I mean, social media was in full swing by the time I was 19, so I only speak of childhood memories, but I feel like when event planning involved phone calling, texting, and speaking to each other face to face, you really had mutual connection from people who were as into the idea as you were. Nowadays someone ticks that damn maybe, interested, or yes button, or says oh sweet I'll get back to you in Messenger, and that's the last you hear from them until they don't show anyways. And yes, I'm bitter from being on the receiving end of many people doing that. Deleting my Facebook was the best choice I've ever made. Now I only get invited to things by people who care about if I'm there. People I invite to events will honor that commitment. It's wonderful.